Gout Gout, the fastest 18-year-old in the 200 meters in history. An American rival spent months calling his records fake and his opponents bums. Then Australia made the one decision that handed that rival everything he needed. They left him out of the relay final. What happened next blew the whole thing up. Gout Gout was born on December 29, 2007, in Ipswich, Queensland. His parents fled South Sudan, spent time in Egypt, and moved to Australia 1 year before he was born. He is one of 7 children, growing up 40 kilometers from Brisbane, the city that will host the 2032 Olympics. His coach, Diane Shepherd, spotted him at 12 years old and has never left his side. At 16, he erased Peter Norman's Australian 200-meter national record, a mark that had stood for 56 years since the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. At the same age, Adidas signed him to a professional contract before he had even finished school. In 2024, he won silver at the World Under-20 Championships in Lima, Peru, clocking 20.60 seconds, one of only 4 sprinters in history to break 20.1 seconds as a teenager. In September 2025, Gout walked into the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo at 17 years old, the youngest sprinter ever to compete in a senior world championships over 200 meters. He reached the semifinal but missed the final by 1 position, finishing 4th in 20.36 seconds. His critics took note of that exit. They filed it away. They would use it. Then came April 12, 2026. At the Australian Athletics Championships at Sydney Olympic Park, Gout Gout ran the 200 meters in 19.67 seconds. The tailwind was plus 1.7 meters per second, well inside the legal limit of 2.0. He became the first Australian ever to break the 20-second barrier. He broke the world under-20 record set by American Erin Brown in 2022. And at 18 years old, he was now faster in the 200 meters than Usain Bolt had ever been as a teenager. On paper, that time would have earned bronze at the Paris 2024 Olympics ahead of Noah Lyles. Before the race, Gout had written one number in his notes, 19.75. He repeated it to himself all week. He ran 19.67 instead. I wrote down 19.75, and for the past week in my head I've been telling myself I'm running 19.75, he said afterward. And obviously 1967, you've gotta love it. Not everyone celebrated. Erin Brown is an American sprinter. His personal best in the 200 meters this year is 20.84 seconds. World Athletics ranks him 3,612th in the world. None of that stopped him from going after Gout Gout loudly, repeatedly, and in public. It started after Tokyo. When Gout failed to reach the final at the World Championships, Brown went on TikTok with a verdict. He called Gout embarrassed. He said the teenager had been racing little white kids in Australia running 22 seconds. He told his audience that Gout had never been in a race where it's been close and delivered his conclusion, he only races bums. Then Gout ran 19.67 in Sydney. Brown did not back down. He posted a clip of wind blowing near the stadium and declared the record was clearly fake and as fake as it comes. He added, "Never trust a time ran in Australia or New Zealand." He pointed out that 7 of the top 8 finishers all set personal bests on the same day, arguing that proved the conditions were out of control. He also pointed to Gout's previous run of 20.4 in his last race before Sydney. The facts did not support him. World Athletics confirmed the wind reading of plus 1.7 meters per second. The record stood. Brown had misread the rule, but the posts spread and the doubt traveled with them. There is a real question underneath the noise. Every single personal best record Gout has set has come on Australian soil. His critics point to Tokyo as the only time he has faced the full field of global competition, and in Tokyo, he did not make the final. That is the legitimate version of Gatlin and Brown's argument. Everything else is noise. Former Olympic champion Justin Gatlin offered a more measured version. He did not call the record fake, but he issued a direct challenge. You've got to do it outside of Australia. Show us you can do it outside Australia. You can run fast in comfort. Everyone can run fast in comfort. But can you run fast in discomfort? Gout Gout heard all of it. Before his next race, a reporter asked him about the salty Americans. He answered without blinking, "There's always going to be haters. If there's haters, it means you are doing something right. It motivates me to do an even bigger race and run even faster." 3 weeks after the world record, Athletics Australia announced its relay squads for the World Athletics Relays in Gaborone, Botswana, scheduled for May 2nd and 3rd, 2026. The World Relays is the global relay championship. the event where sprint nations send their fastest combinations to compete for prize money, prestige, and automatic qualification spots for the World Athletics Championships in Beijing in 2027. Gout Gout was not named in the men's 4x100-meter squad. Neither was Eddie Nketiah, another of Australia's fastest sprinters. The team selected was Lachlan Kennedy, Joshua Azopardi, Christopher Eas, and Rohan Browning. Athletics Australia gave no official reason. The widely reported explanation was athlete management. Gout had just finished his high school career. He had limited experience in senior open relay competition. His focus was the 200 meters as an individual. And the real target was the World Under-20 Championships at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon in August 2026, a competition Gout Gout has circled all year. The reasoning was defensible. The timing was terrible. With Brown's post still circling, with Gatlin's challenge still open, leaving the world record holder out of a relay, final handed critics the exact data point they wanted. The decision meant that if Australia came up short in Gaborone, the story would write itself. And Australia came up short. The World Athletics Relays at the Botswana National Stadium on May 2nd and 3rd was the first time Botswana had hosted a World Athletics Series event. 25,000 fans packed the stadium, loud, on their feet, and making it unforgettable. Australia's relay team gave everything in qualifying. On day one, Kennedy, Azopardi, Ias, and Browning ran 37.87 seconds, equaling the Australian national record, and booked their place in the final. The final told a different story. The United States won in 37.43 seconds. South Africa set an African record of 37.49 seconds in second. Germany crossed the line in 37.76 seconds for third. Australia finished in 38.00 seconds, fourth place, 0.24 seconds behind the bronze medal. Christopher Eas spoke for the group afterward. "We wanted to make the final and came wanting a medal," he said. "So to get so close is disappointing. 0.24 seconds. At full sprint speed, that is 2 strides. That is the precise gap between Australia and a bronze medal while their world record holder was not on the track." That number exploded online. That is the number Brown had been waiting for. Australia did break records elsewhere in Gaborone. The men's 4x400 squad ran 2 minutes 55.2 seconds in the final, crushing a 42-year-old national record that had stood since the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. All 6 Australian relay teams qualified for the 2027 World Championships in Beijing. By those measures, the trip was a genuine success. But in sprint relays, results are the only statement that quiets critics. Fourth place was not that statement. Athletics Australia left him out because they are protecting a plan. The World Under-20 Championships at Hayward Field in August 2026 is where Gout has aimed all year. That is where Usain Bolt launched everything in 2002. Gout is following that same blueprint. Beyond Eugene, the 2028 Olympics come to Los Angeles. Then the 2032 Olympics arrive in Brisbane, 40 kilometers from where Gout grew up. He will be 24, the exact prime of a sprinter's career. That is the finish line Athletics Australia has drawn, not a relay bronze in Gaborone.